Hello, hello, and welcome to my thought for this Monday. Now that the government has become our father and mother and is monitoring our behavior to one another, there's a great deal of anger and frustration online and on a website that I'm on, which is called Nextdoor, uh, reporting nasty, horrible people that spit in the produce or didn't stand 6 feet away from them or touched somebody when they shouldn't have. Um, Very angry people who are forgetting that we are not our brother's keepers. And I find them repulsive. I find them repugnant. But I call them tattletales. And when it comes to tattletales, my sister was a master when she was young. She was a master. Whenever she was upset, whenever she decided that life wasn't right for her, she decided to get me into trouble. And she would say things to my mother like, Lynn Ruth made me throw up, or Lynn Ruth looked at me funny. And whenever she said anything like that, my mother would immediately send me to my room and make me stay there because my mother believed my sister implicitly. And I believe that the first 20 years of my sister's life, I don't believe she ever told the truth about anything. However, the master tattletale event with my sister was when I was I had a friend over at the house, which is very unusual because my mother didn't allow me to have friends in the house. But I had a friend in the house. Evidently, she was out, and I decided she wouldn't know. And we used to do what we call dirty poems. We used to tell dirty poems. And nowadays, there's absolutely they're so innocuous you wouldn't pay any attention to them. But then we called them dirty poems. And one of them was in days of old, when men were bold and girls were not particular, they lined them up against the wall and screwed them perpendicular. And my mother said, and my sister said, "I'm going to tell mother." And I thought, what's she going to tell mother? Because anything she told mother got me in trouble. And sure enough, when my mother came home, my sister, in great self righteousness, said to my mother, "Well," she said, "Lynn Ruth said perpendicular," which of course meant nothing. And I love that. However, I got back at her because I started smoking. I know that's absolutely ridiculous, but I started smoking when I was 13. And I was not fond of my sister, not at all. I was not fond of my mother either. I was filled with hate and aggression. So I smoked, and I started smoking when I was 13, and I used to smoke in the bathroom. And my sister at that time, I was 13. My sister would have been 5, and my mother came home and she said, "Somebody's been smoking in the bathroom." And I said, "Marcia D has been smoking." And they actually believed me. So I got mine back at my tattletale sister. Now, I don't know if you have any tattletale stories to tell, but I'll tell you, there are just loads of them out there now talking about who spit at who and who stood too close and who walked with three people instead of one. And they are all tattletales, and they could take a lesson from my sister. She was a master. And thank you very much for joining me for my thought.